I almost failed cosmetology school big time. Continue watching to find out how I almost failed cosmetology school. Alright everyone, it's Vinny, and today's going to be a story time. For those of you that are my viewers and are cosmetologists, or are currently in cosmetology school, you will know that cosmetology school is all by hours. Every state is different. I'm familiar with New Jersey's, Pennsylvania's, and I think New York is like 1,200, but I'm not sure. But basically, with cosmetology schools, it's not just the grade you get in the course. In fact, the grade doesn't always matter. It's passing your state board test, the written and the practical, and the hours. So every hour that you're in the classroom is an hour that you get, and if you have an 8-hour day, that's 8 hours added onto your, I don't know if they call it a transcript or what, but it adds up, and when you get to your desired hours, you have officially graduated the course. You get a paper saying that you attended it, so in case you have to move or in case you lose your license, you have proof that you completed the program. So in my state, the hour limit is 1,200 if you go to a private school. I don't go to a private cosmetology school, so it was only 1,000 hours. So because of this, our whole schedule changed. The program was originally 1,200. They changed the whole program. They made it 1,000. So out of my class, we only needed to get 1,000 in. So the hours were like less long, and it wasn't as the schedule wasn't as forgiving per se. So we were only allowed 8 absences. Every last one of my class members, and myself included, missed. I think I missed just under 8. A few of them missed like 10 or 11 or 12, and it got out of hand. So we should have had 600 hours by January. Right before New Year's in January, it was winter break, and at winter break, we did not have a good winter break. We had 3 days off, and I think it was the 27th of December, we had a return. So after Christmas, we only had 2 days off. Most places were off the entire week. So I went with a friend to New York, a group of friends. We went to New York City, and then I stayed at my one friend's house who was in New York, Brooklyn. So when I'm in New York, I was like, you know what? I was like, it's a little too late. I was drinking. I don't want to, take the train home by myself. I wanted to stay there later. So my other friends left. My other friends stayed in the city. Then I went with my one friend and I stayed at their apartment. When I was in New York, it was pretty bad because I was assuming the next day I'll just take a day off in cosmetology school because I didn't really miss that many days. And I thought that everyone else will go to class and it will just be like one absence. Everyone else had the same mindset I did, that if they missed, that we would just come in. Out of a small group of 5, only one person showed up, and that was the person that was under 21. Because of this, I got a phone call, 2 of them in the morning. One of them went right to voicemail because I was too tired, too cranky, and maybe a little bit too drunk from the night before. The other one was from the teacher, who was really upset because when this girl went in there, no one else showed up. Her head supervisor came in. Now, my teacher's pretty awesome, but her head supervisor was really, really tough. The head supervisor was not at all happy at what had happened. So she left a message saying she plans on talking with us. So then the day after that, I go to class and I'm there early. My teacher did not give me 1 second to set foot in that door because she was not happy. We had a good 30-minute discussion on how it was bad that we missed class and this and that. And because of it, we actually had to stay in school later. And the bad thing with hours, we were supposed to open our clinic to start getting clinical hours in January. We could not do that until late February because of how behind we were with hours. It even came to the point that the cosmetology school is supposed to end in early June. We're now ending it in a little later June. We're extending it 2 weeks just in case. And my written for cosmetology is this week, actually tomorrow. And the worst part with that is I barely made 800 hours. I literally did every single opportunity my teacher told me. I did the extra coursework. I did the special events that were like in order to get hours too, as long as you go to an event where there's an educator or a licensed professional, licensed cosmetologist, you can get hours for that. And I did that. I did volunteer work. I did all this other stuff on the side, trying to rack up those hours. And I barely made it, because had I not have done that, I would have only been at like 600 hours and I would have probably failed. It was really, really scary. She even had one person last year that did that. They didn't make their hours and they missed it by a little bit. So the girl failed the class. She had to pay again, which cosmetology school is not cheap. And she had to pay again and do it the next year, and it was frightening. So I was this close to not making class, not passing class or getting my license, all because of my own silly mistakes. And it wasn't really being lazy. I was still adjusting to graduating a 2-year college and adjusting to a big 4-year and master's school university. And it's a big change to do that. So I was stressed. I was under a lot. And it was my fault. Like, I own up to it 110%. But I almost let that become my own giant failure in cosmetology school. So the moral of the story is, if you're in cosmetology school, be on time, one, because teachers will kick you out if you're not on time. Get to class on time. Don't make excuses. Go to class. Don't think that, oh, I'll just skip class and I'll just use up all my absences, because those absences do and will add up. We even had a snow day, and that was in my previous video. When we had our snow day, that also further crunched our time down, and it wasn't good because we got no hours for that. Also, make sure when you're in cosmetology school, take every single availability to get hours. My teacher offered up hours when we needed hours and we needed answers to the questions in the book. And she goes, I'll give you an hour for each answer. Everyone else was lazy and they thought, oh, it's just 1 hour. What will that do? And I thought to myself, 1 hour is is one more hour than I didn't have before. So I did her extra credit work, and that helped like a lot. Other than that, make sure you attend extra classes. Also inquire too, because every state's different. The more classes you attend, generally the better. So keep up with hours like that. If you can do a community service event and get hours for that as well, do that. And other than that, just follow your school rule book. Do what you're supposed to do, because cosmetology school is really about honing your skills. So when you go out into the real world and get a job in the real world, you have responsibility skills, all that. Because if this was a salon and we had that happen in my class where someone was a no-call, no-show for 2 days, it stresses everyone else out, and you have to take their client load, which sometimes isn't good for them, because the clients may like you and they may lose out on profit that way. So I want to know, comment down below if you're in cosmetology school. I want to know what your worst cosmetology school experience was, and have any of you guys ever failed class because of your hours? Let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be up with more videos soon, because next week is my practical state board, and I'll tell you guys how that was. So see you guys soon.